Hello and welcome to A Celtic World, the YouTube channel and podcast made by Celtic fans all over the world for Celtic fans all over this great big world. From Loch Lomond to Lake Erie, Rob Royston to Rio, wherever you happen to be watching from, you're part of A Celtic World. And watching from Sydney, we have the ever faithful Monday night presence or Monday morning presence of Stephen. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Gav. How are you doing?
Tickety boo, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Had a nice weekend there. Rounded off with a nice victory in the cup. So looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, I had a nice weekend too. But as I was telling Brian, I played football yesterday with children again. But it's still playing football as far as I'm concerned. And as far as my knees and hamstrings are concerned, on Monday, it's most definitely a proper game of football. And we'll go over to Brian, who's going to come off mute to be greeted. And so we can hear him when I say, how you doing, Brian?
Doing great. Just glad to get the result yesterday. I was quite nervy, but yeah, sure, we'll talk about that on today's show.
Of course we will indeed. And what are we talking about on the show? Pretty obvious, the Hibs game. We're going to talk about entertaining Sevco, which works in a couple of ways. Of course, they're very entertaining for us to watch the goings-on over there. But we are also hosting them in the next game. So we will be entertaining Sevco and hopefully giving them a good scudding, even though that doesn't tend to happen. But yeah, we'll get to that. Celtic quiz. I'm sure everyone's really excited to know that the Celtic quiz is here again. We've got a number of ex-Celtic players in pictogram form for you to guess, and it's going to be contributors versus viewers again. Viewers kicked the contributors' asses last time, so hoping for a better performance from Stephen and Brian. And then any other news at the end of that. So let's say hello to whoever's in the comments. Hail, fellow champions, says Mark Nisbet. He's feeling in celebratory mood. Obviously feels like there's a treble on the way. I'm sure we all do. 420's in the house, as always, saying good morning. Kaiser is also here, greeting some people in the chat. Kaiser will be with us on Thursday, hopefully. That's the plan, because, of course, Kaiser is a legend at the pictograms, or so he says. So we'll see how good he is on Thursday. Big Des, who I have a photograph of. I know what Big Des looks like now. Big Des, of course, his photograph is not going to appear on the worldwide CSC thumbnails for the drink along with the rest of us. Tam Mac and various others. And let's just round these off, I think, with saying Monty is giving us a rundown of who's here, as he always does. Thank you for that, Monty. All right, and hello to everybody else. I can't go through all the comments. There's actually loads already. But yes, good day to you all. All right, so we're going to get on with the game. First of all, Stephen, I'm sure you're itching to get into it. It was a big game. There was a lot riding on it, and that was evidenced in the team sheet that came out. And that's our strongest team, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, there's very few decisions need to be made at the moment, and really the only one is whether you play Adam Maeda up front with Maeda on the left, Jota on the bench, or whether you start with Maeda through the middle and Jota on the left. And the last few games, he's opted for that. So not much of a surprise that that's the way we lined up. Interesting to see Greg Taylor back on the bench again. Missed a couple of games here due to the birth of his child. So I'd be interested to see if he plays a part between now and the end of the season, being out of contract next year. Jeff Schlupp's really playing well. He cemented himself as first choice left back, I think. And it'll be interesting to see. I think he will. I think Greg Taylor's got a part to play. But it was interesting to see him back in the bench yesterday.
Yeah, it was indeed. But yeah, like I say, strongest side, basically, lining up. Taking the game seriously. And I thought we started really brightly. First incident, I don't know. Did you watch the full game, Brian? You'll be able to recall all of these incidents.
Yeah, watch the full game, yeah.
Oh, good man. All right. Well, then on 3 minutes, let's test your mettle. Cal Mack shot.
Yeah, great shot. Just whistled wide, the right hand post. So, we're knocking on the door. It was a bit sort of cagey the initial couple of moments, but Cal just stepped in. I think Kuhn slipped it to him, and a great shot, just inches wide. I mean, just sums up Cal Mack's season.
Well, it was well saved by the keeper. He got down
Jordan
smartly.
Smith had a bit of a worldie yesterday. Yeah, he did fantastic.
That was a good save. That would have gone past the Sevco boy, wouldn't it, Stephen?
Oh yeah, it would have went right through him. Yeah, the keeper played well, and that was a really good save. Got a real good strong arm down to that because McGregor really caught it really sweetly, and it looked as if it was arrowing for the corner. But the keeper made a good save and managed to get it round the post as well, which he didn't later on in the half.
And the lively start continued. There was a nice bit of interplay. Kuhn was looking good, sharp on the ball. Give a wee flick here to Tate. Put in, well, quite a disappointing ball. It didn't come to anything. This is Kuhn now just lofting one into Jota. You see him on the left of the screen, Stephen? And then he came into the back post.
Yeah, coming in and headed at the back post. I think it came off the defender when out for a corner. But at this point, we were just we were in complete control of the game, and it just looked a bit like when we were going to score, not if.
And that was the surprising thing, that it took so long. You were thinking there's going to be a goal in the something 10th minute or something. 9 minutes. This is Kuhn cross with the outside of the left foot. Brian, do you remember this? And the keeper sort of dived out and claimed it. But we were looking dangerous here. We were looking like we were.
Yeah, we're knocking on the door. Up. I thought the Hibs fans brought great atmosphere to the game. They were quite noisy, and obviously our fans were getting back. No, it was a great game, and we should have been. There was a couple of opportunities, but we're knocking on the door from early on. But it did take us about 38 minutes or so to get the goal. I'm sure you'll talk.
Well, part of that reason is because of the sort of the robust defending, shall we say?
They were physical.
Rocky wouldn't let Maeda pass here in 16 minutes around this.
Yeah, he just physically abused Maeda for basically the whole game, Bashiri, and that some of the challenges he was allowed to get away with. I mean, we'll talk about this later on. I don't know if you've got the picture of that, but I think we should have had a penalty at one point. Yeah. When Maeda got a shot away, but
as I was saving that picture, Stephen, I was saving that picture, I was thinking this will be the picture when Stephen makes the case of this being a penalty, when everybody else is like, I don't see much in it.
Yeah, I'm so transparent, aren't I? Nah, but he sort of roughed him up a bit, and you could see Maeda was getting a little bit annoyed about it, particularly into the second half when it was still carrying on. He was getting no protection from the referee, and Maeda's got a little kick out in him. Yeah. Occasionally, he's had a few red cards, and I was kind of half worried that we were going to see something similar today. We really don't need that at this point in the season, the way Maeda's playing. So I'm just quite happy that he managed to control himself, but he should have got more protection from the referee.
Well, there's more controversy to follow, but this is potentially one of the real flashpoints in the game. Not so much the way it worked out, but on 17 minutes, CCV puts the ball into play. You know where I'm going with this, Brian? Mm-hmm. Puts the ball into play, and then your man runs to the waiting ball, which was significantly ahead of where the ball went into play. Look at it here.
Yeah.
So he runs to that. He's the only one looking at the ball. Everybody else is looking different directions. These two are looking back where the ball went out. Referee's looking somewhere over here. Trustee's looking somewhere over here. This guy's the only one literally on the ball. Picks it up, throws it, catches our defenders unaware, Brian.
And then Bowie, or Bowie, the Hibs striker, takes a shot, and a fantastic save by Casper. He was listening to the Overlap podcast with himself and Keno and all the rest of it on it, and he mentioned the difference between sort of elite level and or not ordinary level, but sort of professional is the concentration and the, you know, and he needed to be concentrated or needed to be on the ball for that one, which on another day it could have went in. Casper was right, as Celtman says, was raging, you know, was quite pissed off, excuse my French.
Well, excuse me if I said that CCV put the ball into play. Obviously, I meant out of play or into touch. Maybe I got those two mixed up. But yeah, that's clearly what happened. But, you know, not to worry, Stephen. Sure, VAR would have called that back and solved it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a question, isn't it? Because I've never seen that. And the commentators also mentioned that they'd never seen that situation unfolding before. So you don't know whether VAR would have been able to call that back. You know, and it was just a disgraceful piece of refereeing. You could see where the referee was in your first image there. He was perfectly well placed. And the linesman in that half of the field was on the far side. So he's got no part to play in it. So it's all down to the referee. Or maybe even the fourth official should have gave him a bit of a nod. But that was, I mean, you get away with stealing a yard or two, a throw in. Everybody does it. Every team gets away with it. But he's took that a good 10, 15 yards forward from where it was initially. The ball clearly went out of play and gained a real advantage by doing it. So that's my problem with it. If you don't really gain an advantage and you're just getting the ball back into play quickly, then, you know, fair enough. But he's gained an advantage. He's put his striker 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper, and that was just a disgraceful piece of refereeing.
It was right in front of the managers too. You know, David Gray and Brendan were there, and all the rest of the team. So like, it should have been just called. If you did it in a 5-side game, it'd be called back. You know what I mean?
It was clever play by the Hibernian fellow, though. I mean, fair play to them. I mean, it's not like you're our resident historian, Stephen. I'm sure you can think of Celtic taking a throw in that they shouldn't have that resulted in a goal, famously.
Yeah, that was in the 1989 Cup final. So
Miller.
I think, you know, it was Roy Aitken and John Brown, the famous Bomber Brown, and it was clearly it should have been a throw into Rangers, but the referee gave it to Celtic. Roy Aitken took it quickly, and it led to a goal. And Rangers fans like to use that as evidence of the fact that, you know, referees are not biased in favour of Rangers, or weren't at that time, because we got a throw-in given to us, 30 odd years ago.
In our own half.
And inadvertently they make our point for us, to be honest with you, if you have to go back all that time and all we got was a throw-in. So yeah, I remember that game as well. It was an excellent day out.
Well, I came across this on social media asking that question: would VAR have intervened to chalk this off? Oh, I like that they use chalk this off. Everybody says chop this off these days, but chalk is where that term originated. Anyway,
I don't think they would have. I think they would have let.
Well, let's consider what people say here. If Schmeichel hadn't saved it, first comment is no, they can't, as the throw-in was legal and the referee allowed it to be taken from that location. The on-field referee's at fault here. He should have stopped the game and told them to move back to the current location. And Timothy replies, I think you're technically right and the goal would have stood, but can you imagine the furore that would have caused? I mean, it would have been an absolute furore of almighty proportions.
Yeah, particularly off the back of what we've heard with the VAR audio being released this week from the last game against Hibs. When you've got the VAR, basically the head VAR, Alan Muir, basically bullying the assistant VAR into agreeing with him that the ball was over the byline. So you would think that the officials would have been going out their way to make sure there was no controversy, no VAR controversy, but that definitely would have been very controversial if it went in.
That's what they call them in Scotland. Furore F50. F40. F40. Yeah, all right. So then that was on 17 minutes. 17 minutes was obviously an exciting time in the game, because then there was this moment when Maeda freed Jota and you thought, oh, here we go, it's going to be brilliant. Jota's going to power past this guy and fly up the pitch. And then the defender came across and kind of closed him down. And did you get the impression in this game, and there was a couple of examples of it, of Jota just maybe running out of steam a bit, not really being supremely fit? Did you get that feeling?
I think there's a bit of fatigue running through the whole team at the moment. And we do have to remember that, you know, Jota's only been back playing full-time football basically for a couple of months now. So he's only been back. He's only been training with us a couple of months, and he's been playing. He's been off the bench or starting in really every game. So I think he probably is tired. I think there's probably a bit of fatigue there, and I know what you mean. He got ran down there by the Hibs defenders fairly comfortably. But I think Hibs are quite quick along the back line. That's one of their strengths. The older from fullback to centre half, I've got a bit of toe. So I wouldn't be too critical of Jota in that situation.
Yeah, I'm not being critical of him. I think exactly as Brown Warrior says, he needs a pre-season to bulk himself up again. I think he's outperforming his physical condition, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, fair play to him. All right, so that was that moment. 36 minutes, still 0-0, Brian. Who'd have thunk? What happens here? Hatate to Maeda. Oh, this is when Rocky floors Maeda. Maeda looks like he's getting through here.
Yeah,
and then
he floors him, and then go ahead.
Just as he's about to hit the ball, in comes the unstoppable force that is Rocky Bashiri.
And didn't Rocky help him up? And he was none too happy with that. You know,
he helped him up very quickly.
You know, lifted him off the floor. So, yeah, very physical, you know, and as Stephen said earlier on, probably should have had a booking for some earlier challenges. But Hibs were very physical. We knew they were going to be that. My worry would have been if anything happened to Maeda, you know, he got injured or anything.
Yeah. Oh, Brian, you seem to have
some wild
paused
challenges
for a second there.
Very physical. I suppose they're playing to their strengths.
We'll go over to Brian, to Stephen. I think your internet's playing up a little bit, Brian. This is the moment you're talking about, Stephen. And watch your microphone.
Yeah, I think you could clearly see there that there's hands in the back. Just as he takes the shot, and you know he's ended up spraying it high, wide, and handsome. So you can't say that the defender hasn't impeded him when he's going to make that shot, and it should at least have been looked at by the VAR. That one, they just waved it on. The game wasn't stopped for any time at all for them to have a look at the challenge, so they clearly didn't look at it. But when I was watching the game myself, I was screaming for a penalty. So I think it should definitely be looked at.
Seltman says he goes through the back of Maeda. A couple of differing opinions there on what sort of a defender he is.
He's coming to the back of him and definitely, you know, put him off his shot. So he's not played the ball. He's made contact with a man and he's affected the play. So to me, that's like a dictionary definition of a penalty kick or a foul. So it should at least have been looked at by the VAR. But
it was dismissed in that sort of footballing parlance of does just enough to put him off.
Yeah, that's right. Another word he fouled him.
All right. Okay, then.
And by the way, anybody in the comments saying that Rocky Bashira is a half-decent defender needs to give their head a wobble.
Someone did say that.
He's a terrible defender. I mean, we'll probably look at the Adamida goal later on, and you know he's not covered himself in glory there, and he's got some huge blunders in him, and he has. Even the Hibs fans will tell you that he's got a massive mistake in him. So he's a big physical guy, but not a player in his life.
Pish would be the sort of description of him.
Would be the correct description, right?
Somebody said last Monday, there's a Monday's not complete, Monday morning, without hearing Stephen say pish. So I was listening out for it actually. Yeah, you stole
Rocky Bashira. Rocky Bashira is pish.
Like it's almost like something that the viewers are building up to, like
expecting.
Oh.
Bullshit.
Yeah. All right. Well, then finally on 38 minutes, the resistance was broken. Cross from Schlupp, dummied or sort of just left by Maeda, Brian. And in comes Kuhn to strike it.
He strikes it. I think the goalkeeper saves it, and who's there to stick it into the back of the net? But our lovely, brilliant, running out of superlatives, Dyson Maeda. It had to be him.
Interesting thing about this is the moment when the ball has left Kuhn's foot. Keeper hasn't saved it yet. And look at Maeda on the left of the screen. He's already making the move to follow in there. He's just so alert. And, just so his anticipation's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, and the guy who's standing next to him is the aforementioned Rocky Bashiri, who's basically just ball watching. So he's ran right past him. The first thing you say about this goal is that Kuhn should score. He's got the whole goal aim at there, and it was a pretty poor, pretty tame effort by him, far too close to the goalkeeper. But he still made a good save, the goalkeeper, and it's spun up into the air. But you can see there, Maeda's already on the move, and the rest of the defence are all flat-footed. So great striker's instinct from Maeda.
It is like, when you play football and somebody has a shot from point-blank range, kind of most people's instinct is to watch the goal. Watch it watch to see the net rippling. But Maeda's just on a different planet.
Yeah, at the moment he is, definitely.
Great to see. Yeah, so he gets in and scores. And then that was half-time. So how were we all feeling at half-time? Pretty comfortable? I was feeling like I can't watch any more of this and have to go to bed. And that's what I did. So, and then I woke up this morning, just first thing, checked the result, and was like, okay, it looks like I made the right decision. One more goal in the last minute or something similar. And were you feeling good at halftime, Brian? Were you feeling confident?
I was glad we got the goal, and
that's your microphone there.
Things could have been a lot different, but it's always nervy. It was the most nervous I felt since. I mean, I wasn't as nervous for the Bayern Munich game. As you shake your head, what's going on?
Is it just a rattle from your microphone as it rubs against your manly barrel chest?
Yeah, I was relieved, but I mean, I was very nervous. I was pacing. I had the vacuum cleaner out again, so I can't keep speaking. There we go. Yeah, so I was glad to see the second half coming.
All right, and then into the second half, Stephen, doubtless this had you screaming at your telly as well, did it?
Oh yeah, another one. You can see there, it's still there. I mean, I know sometimes we say, and I do think it's wrong to make refereeing decisions based off of still photographs, and that one is very, very damning, isn't it? You can see he's high, and he's caught Hatate like halfway up his ankle. So a very, very dangerous challenge, and again one that I thought we'd get the referee called over to the monitor to look at it, because he's gave him a yellow card, but I think could have easily been a red.
Do you remember the one last year, Stephen? Hatate went in quite high foot. It was one of the last few games of the season. Might have been Hearts or something like that. But there was all this whole not conspiracy, but all he should have been sent off, this, that, and the other. It was. There were some meaty challenges going in yesterday.
Yeah, I know the one you mean, Brian. I think it was against Hearts. I think you're right, but I don't think it was the same as that one, because there was no. He kind of slid in, Hatate to that one, and his studs were up, but he kind of drew his foot away as he made contact, so there was no force in it. But with this one, there was a bit of force in it, and he was quite fortunate. Hatate was quite fortunate that he was able to get up and walk away from that, because it was a pretty bad challenge.
Now, somebody has already mentioned Jota's skill on the wing, which I couldn't really get a decent still of. But if you see this picture, you'll know that he has just done something good to keep the ball in play. and then managed to run down and then cut inside and then had a shot. And the commentators mentioned he looked knackered at the end of the shot. This is the second example of him, going on a lung-busting run and sort of having nothing left in the tank, I think. But did you see this skill clearly? I didn't really see it.
Oh, yeah. The ball's heading out of play, and he's just kind of flicked it over his own head and the defender's head, and kept it in. And, I found it incredible at the time that it stayed in, and to then have the poise and the balance to take it down after he's done that and basically leave the defender for dead. It was just a wonderful piece of skill, and it just sort of has you licking your lips for what he's going to be able to do for us when he is fully up to speed and fully fit, because he's an absolute game changer out there. I think I still have to pinch myself to believe that we've actually signed him again. We're fortunate enough to have him back. It's just wonderful, and that piece of skill just shows exactly what he's capable of.
On the commentator, who did you have on co-coms?
I was Michael Stewart. I had Michael Stewart on co-coms for my sins.
Did you, Brian?
Yeah, Premier Sports, wasn't it?
Oh, well, I was watching it on Celtic TV, and it was Brecon City forward Killian Sheridan.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Jesus.
But he used...
Former Killian Sheridan. Is that the same guy?
Yeah, and some of his stats suggest that he had a significant career. Celtic graduate, made it into the first team, scored for Celtic, made appearances in the Champions League, including against Man U, capped by the Republic of Ireland, but he only played for Celtic for like 10 minutes. Managed to cram that all in.
Yeah, and, he ended up getting a bizarre transfer out to Bulgaria. I thought it was Bulgaria or something.
Yeah. He did. He went all sorts of places.
Yeah,
including both of those, I think.
I think he's quite an interesting player.
Well, I wasn't too interested in the fact that he said Yotta throughout the whole game. Yotta this and Yotta that. As you can imagine,
nobody calls him Yotta.
Drove me to distraction. And the other guy with him was like, there he goes, the Portuguese Jota, he kept saying. As if to, snap this guy out of his reverie. It's bloody annoying. Anybody else hear him going on about Jota?
I was like, remember Big Ron? Big Ron Atkinson, God rest his gracious soul. No, I think he's still alive. He used to call Paul McGrath, Big McGrath. He used to call him McGrath, Used to think that was quite endearing, the fact that he called him McGrath instead of McGrath. There you go. There's the first wobble.
Alrighty then. So that was on 52 minutes that Yotta got through but couldn't quite score. We had loads of chances actually in this game, especially really late on we did, but we had a few good ones. Like, remember this, Alistair Johnson crossing on 59 minutes, Stephen? And you're thinking, this must be.
Yeah, this is becoming Alistair Johnson's signature move, isn't it? Getting outside, the underlap from Kuhn, who's gone outside, and before he gets to the byline, he swings this ball really early. It's a really early ball into the box between the defender and the keeper, and it's just begging to be tapped in. Yeah. And it's kind of hard to see there. I think Maeda maybe a little bit unfortunate. It was maybe just a couple of centimetres out with his reach, and he was stretching, and he just couldn't get a solid enough contact on it. But wonderful play by Alistair Johnson. Really brilliant. And should have been a goal.
Gav, did Killian Sheridan say Johnson then, or Alistair Johnson? Unfortunately, just Yotta.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very annoying. And he said it a lot. McLaughlin P tells us somebody said in another pod on Friday that AJ can't cross a ball. Well, he can certainly play that ball. He can drive them low and hard across the face.
We need names. Superbly. We need names named. Whoever's saying Alistair Johnson can't cross a ball is obviously needs to give up watching football, in my opinion.
You've got to stop watching these other podcasts, people.
Yeah.
I mean, come to the most visually entertaining of all the Celtic pods.
This is your source of truth right here.
That's right. That's right. There you go. Right, okay. So that was 59 minutes. What happened next? Schlupp had a decent chance, Brian.
Yeah.
He's winding it up.
He was pretty much where the referee was, and he skipped around a couple of players. And yeah, another day that could have been in, but it just shows you his class and his strength, and you know, he's just a great addition to the team. Really hope we keep him.
This is a fair point from Alpha. I thought this AJ should have had better service on the overlap yesterday, but Kuhn decided to cut inside almost every time. He did. And, you know, the commentator, especially Peter, to be perfectly honest with you, Grant is always on at Kuhn to mix it up, go inside, down the line, go inside, down the line, keep the defenders guessing. But it is kind of his default setting, isn't it, to cut in?
Yeah, I didn't think Kuhn had a particularly good game yesterday, and I don't think he's really hit top form for a number of weeks now. I think, like everybody else, I think he's probably struggling a bit with fatigue. And you know, I think this period of the season where we're only playing one game a week is really going to help him. But I didn't think he was brilliant at all yesterday. But the chance there for Schlupp, one thing to point out there, that's on his weaker foot, his right foot, and he's absolutely laced that. And you know, if it's the other side of the post, the keeper's not getting anywhere near it. He's absolutely hammered it. Really, really sweetly struck. And to be able to do that with your weaker foot is a real skill, and it'll be a real attribute for him, because he can come in. He comes in there all the time, and if he can shoot just as easily with his right foot or his left foot, and then the defenders are always going to be guessing. So Schlupp, again, another good game, really solid defensively, and really good going forward.
Looks like he belongs in a Celtic shirt, doesn't he? Totally. Just come in, hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. He has been. And then Adamita comes on. The subs came on quite late in this game, didn't they? Like 70 minutes, most of them, I think. Yeah. No, nothing happened until 70 minutes. And then Ida comes on, and I think his first sniff a goal was this cross from Maeda, which I was screaming at him to hit, but I'm pretty sure he got a big shout from Yang coming flying in and left it. And I think actually if he had gone for the shot, they might have ended up running into each other or something.
Yeah.
What do you reckon to this moment?
Yeah, I think it was a really good chance. I feel a bit sorry for Yang. It's a very difficult thing to do. He's trying to open up his foot and let it come across his body at speed. So it was a very, very, very difficult chance, and he ended up sort of making a mess of it. But I'm not sure if. I agree with you. I think if Ida had tried to take the shot, they would have ended up making a mess of it as well. So. Great cross, but not particularly good contact by Yang.
I take it his girlfriend's away back home.
Because he's firing wide of the mark. He managed to penetrate the box, etc., etc. Yeah,
get in the box.
We're better than that. We're better than that.
I know we're trying to attract a female contributor.
Just getting back to the substitutions, it was interesting, wasn't it, that you see McGregor getting taken off again for the second game in a row, and Engels slotting into the sort of number 6 position. So I wonder if that's something that Brendan's trying to look at for next season, maybe giving Arnie Engels a bit of time in that role to see how he performs. I think he was great, to be honest. I think both games he's really took to it like a duck to water, and he was spraying some lovely diagonal balls from the back towards the end of the game, and that's something that McGregor doesn't really have in his locker. But Engels' range of passing makes him a natural number 6. So I think he's probably got a future in that position.
Didn't you say a couple of weeks ago, Gav, that Hatate, whenever McGregor leaves the field or gets subbed, Hatate plays a lot better? It's like a different player the last sort of 10, 15 minutes.
Well, I asked that question. Is that a factor? You know.
Okay.
I don't know that it is. But Hatate seems to come strong later on in games, generally, I think, as well. But it's ridiculous that there hasn't been anyone to step in for McGregor for all these years. It's absolutely ludicrous. So it's the right thing to do for a manager.
I think there has been down through the years, but I just think he's been so important to the team that nobody wants to make that call. But I think now we're at the point of the season now where everything's coming to a head, and there is a bit of fatigue through the squad. He's hardly had a rest all season. So, and I thought Calmack was having an excellent game. I thought he was brilliant up to that point. So I wasn't really screaming for him to get taken off. But it's just quite instructive that he's done that the same substitution 2 weeks in a row. So I think maybe Brendan sees Engels in that position as well.
And he takes him off.
What you're saying there, Brian, we should substitute Calmack after 15 minutes so Rio turns up.
But it's quite a ballsy move from Brendan to take off Calmack when we're only 1-0 up. The game could have went either way towards the end, but the fact that he had the balls to do it and bring on McCown and Anita.
Yeah, yes, I think that's
go ahead.
I think that speaks to the confidence he has in Engels to carry out the role. So, and the confidence he also has in Luke McCown to come into the midfield and make an impact, which he certainly did.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how different players react to the absence of McGregor, isn't it? Or Engels in that role and McCann then buzzing around like he's the top dog. And he did great here, didn't he?
Yeah, fantastic. Again, I take back what I said about McCann. I think he's more an impact player at sort of the last half an hour of a game, but he just come on there dancing around, great skill, great footwork, and slotted the ball in for the big Irish lad to score, which would just take the pressure off everybody.
I always find it interesting when you look at these stills and you think he's yet to play the ball, and according to that picture, and you'll enjoy this, Stephen, but Bashiri is favourite to get to whatever happens. There's no way he should be getting in ahead of him. But then that's exactly what happens by the time the ball does get cut back.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to mention that. You stole my thunder a little bit, Gav. Big Rocky again, ball watching, and the defender runs past him. So that's just his. That's just a snapshot of his defensive abilities. But I thought that was really good for Mida. He's made a really good run across the front of him. Brilliant play for McCowan and AJ again down the right hand side. And he's found Ida brilliantly, and he's finished with a great finish. So, I mean, we're already in stoppage time at that point. So it was nice to get the last few minutes of the game without any pressure or stress. But to be honest, I didn't really feel as if we were in any danger of conceding a goal at any point in that second half. I think we spoke last week about how we'd started giving up quite a few chances in the games against Hibs and in the games against St Mirren, and we wanted to see that reversed for this game, and I think we did. Hibs hardly had a sniff, and our defence played really well, so I didn't really feel under any pressure. But it's always nice to get that second goal and just confirm it.
Ida was very emotional. He's usually deadpan, but he was like really, going for it when he scored. I think it meant a lot to him, and I just remember before he scored, Hibs were going long, and there was a guy. Was it McCart on the right hand side? Is that Chris McCart's son? He just went down with cramp. He just couldn't make the ball. I forget the guy's name. Apologies, but Hibs gave everything, and we were the team that come out on top, which was great.
This is funny from Kaiser here saying that somebody needs to, cut that clip up with the VAR audio from the previous one. How about there? No, this angle, that one.
There it's out. There it's there. It's out, isn't it? Isn't it out? It's out, isn't it?
Yep. That would be good.
It wasn't Chris McCart's son, by the way, Brian. Chris McCart's son plays for Hearts. He was the guy that scored 2 own goals against Rangers.
That's right. Was it McCann then? Right, that doesn't matter. It was Chris.
And as Evan Leto said earlier, and I had the comment up, he loves McCann's directness. And he is very direct, and he nearly scored here. I thought this could easily have been a goal. Keeper managed to get in the way of it.
Yeah, Jordan Knight, absolutely worldly yesterday. Could have been 4-0. Sorry, Stephen.
Goalkeepers always play well against us, so they're so busy. They have they're called into action 25 times. We win 3-0, and they make 22 stops. That's often the way, isn't it?
Yeah, they did have a good game, Jordan Knight, but I'm not really sure that any of the saves that he made, you wouldn't really be expecting him to make. There wasn't anything that was completely out of this world. He made a few good saves rather than great ones, but he can be quite happy with his performance. You can see here that I think McCowan's trying to give him the eyes and nutmeg him, but it didn't quite come off, and that was I think that was the last kick of the game ultimately.
Well,
no, you're right. There was another chance again after that went from Maeda.
Look at Maeda here. I mean, you would look at this still, and you're like, well, that's definitely a goal. There's no way he can possibly miss. But the keeper just does get a hand to it and fluffs it out. It out. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
No, fluffing. No. Is he Scottish, Jordan Knight, or is he Australian? He's from Malta or somewhere.
Is that the only two choices, Brian?
Not the only two choices. Australia. No, but the Hibs seem to always have a load of Australian players. Look, but he should be knocking on the door for Scotland. I mean, Craig Gordon's there, and he's about 90.
Well, Stephen's doing the responsible thing and looking it up before making assertions about who he should play for. You'll be telling us that goalkeeper's not Finnish.
Antti Niemi. Well, he should be playing. Do you remember that one?
That's what I'm referring to.
Antti Niemi. Where's he from, Jordan Knight, then? Is he Australian?
I don't know. I'm struggling to find it. Oh, he's English. Jordan Smith, his name is. It's not Jordan Knight. Jordan Smith.
Jordan Knight was your man out of
Backstreet
Boys or something. What was it? No, Jordan Knight. Who was that?
I think he's English.
2 Kids on the Block. That was him. That's the one Gav used to dress up.
For God's sake, what are you talking about?
Knight. I'm talking shit. Jordan Knight. Jordan Smith. Sorry. Jordan Smith.
I'm surprised nobody in the comments pulled you up on that and said, why you keep saying Jordan Knight, Brian? 80s boy band throwback guy, you.
Antti Niemi. Oh my God.
All right. So Tam McManus, you know who he is? He was on saying, best team won, no doubt, but a brave Hibs performance, he says. And then somebody points out, well, look at the stats. 18 shots to 3, 8 shots on target to 1, 6 off target to 1, 4 blocked shots to 1. So it was a very one-sided game, no doubt about it. I mean, they didn't, as you say, they didn't bring any real threat, Stephen, Hibs.
No.
But for our slightly wastefulness, we could have, as those still show, scored 4, 5, 6, another day.
Yeah, they didn't really trouble us at all, middle to front. They really just tried. I was quite disappointed in Hibs, to be honest with you. I was quite disappointed that they were resorting to long throw-ins, like 20 minutes into the game. Anytime they got a throw in our half, it was lodged into the box. So they didn't offer anything up front, and they kind of frustrated us reasonably well for a long period of the first half. But when it gets to 1-0 after about 60, 70 minutes, you're expecting them to have a right old go because it's a cup tie. There's no second chances, and if they're out, they're out. So, quite disappointing.
Everyone's loving Brian's contributions, though, as always. It's good to see, Brian. Comic relief. Unwitting comic relief.
There's the turn into bellboy here.
All right. So, I don't know what you've seen much since the game, any chit-chat and social media or stuff, but this old chestnut's doing the round as Celtic close in on another treble. Must be such a bore, says Steve. being a Celtic fan. You've multiple times money of the rest of the league. You buy all the domestic trophies, so half the league season is meaningless, and then you're shite in Europe, so achieve nothing there. To which Rab replies, love seeing these opinions every season. I enjoy watching Celtic. I look forward to it every week. I enjoy every trophy we win. I've seen a few different versions of Celtic and never get bored of us smashing the rest of the country. Here, I imagine you're both going to say to that.
Yeah, I mean, personally speaking, I can only agree with Big Rab there. I'd never get bored of winning trophies.
Never get bored.
I don't think you ever will. I did this sort of opinion has been floating around recently, and it's just a sort of defence mechanism from other teams that Celtic are so good. After we played Aberdeen a few weeks ago and beat them 5-1, I read a few comments in some of their socials, and they were saying, look, there's no even any point in playing Celtic anymore because they're so far ahead of everyone else. But that's got nothing to do with Celtic. That's to do. Everyone else starts the season on 0 points. We all start at the same level, and it's up to every team how they manage their budgets, how they manage their transfers, and how they manage the games. So it's just sour grapes. Really, that's what it is. And I may be wrong about this, but in previous seasons and previous decades where Celtic haven't been as dominant and where the Huns have been dominating, I don't really seem to remember so much of this talk about it being boring Rangers winning everything. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my memory played tricks on me. But yeah, it's just sour grapes. And long may it continue.
Yeah, and as Kaiser says, anyone who's been watching for long enough will remember the dark days of Celtic being absolutely nowhere near a trophy.
I always tell everyone when Celtic won the league in 1988, I was 19, and they didn't win it again until I was 29. Now, if you're spending your whole 20s, your 20s is when you're at your sort of football supporting peak. You're out at every game. You're going home and away, and I was there home and away through that whole period. We went a whole decade without winning a league. So anybody who says we're just glory hunters and it's not right or it's not fair that Celtic are so far ahead of everyone else, this situation we're in just now has been built on years and years and years of solid financial decisions, and a lot of them weren't popular. A lot of them led to us losing trophies, maybe around about the sort of 2007 to 2010, when Rangers were still going tonto with the spending, but Celtic were practising a bit of austerity. So it was in those years that the groundwork was being laid for what we say today, when Rangers were busy basically committing financial suicide. So it wasn't easy getting to this point. And as Celtic fans, we should all appreciate it.
Absolutely. I was going to show some stills there about individual players and stuff and talk a bit about them. Note that Yang got a call up to the Korean team for the first time in a while, which is nice. But we're running out of time and we need to get on with some of this quiz. So, the format, people watching at home, and Stephen and Brian. Why don't we start with Stephen and Brian? Then you give us a number between 1 and 23. Hopefully it's not one we've done before. I'll let you know. Stephen.
Go ahead, Stephen.
7.
7 we've done before.
No, for fuck's sake.
16.
Okay, 16. Okay, so this is for the guys in the chat. This is for YouTube, but the guys in the chat can jump in and steal.
But they don't need to put it in because I need to change the style.
No, they can jump in and steal, but you've got the advantage, you guys, because you just have to say it. Okay, who's this? I should have some music, some background music for this.
Somebody Van.
Pierre Van Hooijdonk? No.
Oh, 420's in.
Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil. Virgil van wee boy with a finger in the dike.
Oh,
No
see, I
sniggering
can't
in
see
the
that.
back.
I thought he was drawing a picture there. I can't even see that.
It's not my fault you don't have your glasses on, old fella. Holy Moses.
People take the piss out of me if I put my glasses on, but I'm going to have to do it now. See, look.
It was indeed Virgil van Dijk. So that's 1-0. 1-0 for the people watching at home. Okay. Give me a number between 1 and 23. Viewers, please, in the chat. Someone type in a number.
Don't be 7.
Yeah. Come on. Give us a number. What's the first one we're going to see?
Every,
Exciting. Number 1 we've already had, David. Can't be number 1. 23. 23 is a good one. 23 is really good.
Gav likes this. Gav likes this one.
I love this one. All right, this is for everyone back at home, so don't jump in, Brian and Stephen. Tell us who this is. Oh yes, David Clarkson gets it.
I've got it. I've got it. Yeah, and obviously.
Well, it's Moose Saddam Belly. Got to be happy with that one. Moose Saddam Belly. Oh, everyone's getting it. Look, see. Now they're getting the hang of it. Even Kaiser's weighing in. Fantastic. All right, back to you guys in the studio, so to speak. Pick a number between 1 to 23.
You're going, Stephen.
What's that?
5.
Oh, this is quite a hard one. This is a hard one. I'll be surprised if anyone gets this. Maybe people in the chat. Don't have much hope for you two. Who's this? It was going to be annoying if I sing the countdown theme again. Better not.
Yeah, put you under pressure.
You have to think slightly out of the box here for this one, but put the 3 things together. What's the first thing famous for? It's not that it's a tower. It's like, why is that tower known?
It leans.
Do we ever have a player called Lionel? Lionel Bat? No. Paddle? Lionel Paddle?
Lee Naylor? No.
Oh, yes. Well done. Lean ill or. Well done, Stephen. Well done. That was very clever. Didn't expect you to get that one. That's good. Red Scotland's in with Lee Naylor. Also. Yeah, Lee Naylor. Okay, great. Well done. Congratulations. People in the chat, give us another number, please. Whatever the first number is, I'll go with it. Oops. Didn't mean to show that. I got it, but it was pish, says the ever chirpy Red Scotland. Too obscure. He likes things nice and straightforward. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Have we got a number? What's the first number there? 3?
Kaiser says 3.
3 we've already had. Kaiser. Evan is 47. That's not up to 23. Big Day is 119. That also exceeds 23. Number 8 says Maestro, so we'll go with that. This is for the people back home. Who's this? Stephen may have got it with a big smile on his face, but he's not saying anything.
I haven't.
Oh, Kaiser's in.
Oh, yeah. I did get it.
Carl Starfelt. Who's the Carl?
Carl Lewis.
Carl the sprinter. Yeah.
Starfelt. Yeah, David got it too. Big Days is loving it. Carl Lewis. Yeah, 420. 420 is pretty good at this. He's capable of some serious lateral thinking, I think, possibly because of his state of mind. All right. Shall we have a decider then? You give us a number for the decider, and we'll see who jumps in first.
12.
Yeah, why 23, says Pete McGee, because, yeah, it's fucking exhausting doing this. That's why. 23 is pretty good going. I'll do some more as well, but okay, number 12. Oh, yeah, this is quite a good one. 420 is watching this an hour ahead, apparently. That's why he's getting in there. Don't know how he manages that. Okay, who's this for everyone? Say what you see. Say what you see, says Plunge McNugget.
Osley.
What's Mr. Chips doing?
Osley Honey, the reserve player. Lee Mack, Osmac, Ballmac, Calmac.
Hodgson Edward? No.
Don't know where you're getting that from. Kaiser's got a good guess, but it's not right. It's not Catch Dick Honey.
Who's the guy? Who's that guy?
That's Lee Mack.
Brian knows. Yeah.
Mac. Leonie.
It's Lee Mack, so there's a Mac in the middle of it. That's a good clue. And I'll give you another clue in a second if nobody else comes in. No, it's Mac.
Maloney.
There's a Mac in the middle, and it's not Honey.
McCurd.
It's not Honey.
Is it Lemon?
Maybe not everyone knows what that is. Would it help if I said it was clarified butter? Often used in Indian cooking.
McGee. Mark McGee.
Mark McGee. That's taking a mark, isn't it, in Australian football? Aussie rules. Mark McGee.
I think that would be a little bit too subtle for most people, that one.
Well, I mean, if it's too easy, it's boring. It's better to have something to, chew over, Brian, right?
Absolutely.
Pete McGee's not happy with that. He wants a VAR decision.
He's won an on-field review of that one. Called to the monitor, Gav.
We'll do one last one, sure. We'll get that was disallowed. Go on.
Everyone's saying it was Honey. Well, it's not Honey. I'm sorry. All right. Jesus. Okay. Another one. 420 didn't even get that one. All right. Give us a number, people at home. We'll do one more just for a laugh. How are we doing on time? We're doing all right. Okay, the first number I see, that's between 1 and 23. I'm impressed that somebody thought I have 118 of these waiting in my folder. 22. All right, we haven't done this one yet. Let me see. Let me open it. Oh yeah, this is. Well, I mean, I think they're all good, of course. But all right, who's this?
Adam Ida. Yep. Adam Montgomery.
It's good, but it's not right.
That's good. Adam
Matthews.
Adam Matthews. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Adam Matthews.
Yeah.
Who's the Hugh, Stephen?
I haven't got a clue.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie.
I got the math. I got the Adam math, and I sort of just added the rest.
Pete McGee, a scurrilous allegation. Picturing me whiling away the hours looking for pictures of Guy. You know me too well, Pete McGee. I'm a keen chef.
I reckon I won that. Do you reckon?
Well, you did pretty well in this one. I think people, the first time you do it, like it takes a while to get your head around where they're coming from, sort of thing. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
But, yeah. Oh, I haven't had this up the whole time. Maybe now's a good time for anyone who was watching. Just thinks, wow, that was best thing I've ever seen on a Celtic podcast. How do I get more of this kind of content? Well, the answer is you subscribe below. We're pushing hard for 2,000 subscribers. That's right, not 50,000 like other people for whom your subscription means nothing. A mere 2. So, it's the widow's penny, Brian, isn't it? Means a lot more to us to get
absolutely.
a subscriber.
Yep. And less is more.
They might have 50,000 subscribers, but they think that Alistair Johnson can't cross a ball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they also said a number of years ago that Dyson Maeda wasn't a very good player. So
some people did say that.
Some people did. What are we sitting at, Gav, anyway? Are we up to the magical 1888?
No, about 1.75 thousand. So,
Okay.
I mean, I was hoping we'd get to 2 by the end of the season. Maybe we'll have to revise that down to the magical 1888 and pretend like that's what we were going for all along.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Help us drive on to that 1888. And for the 1888 subscriber, we'll give a massive giveaway of some Celtic memorabilia. I see you sent a bunch to
Dano, yeah. It was I think it was the Tony Adams testimonial. So a big glamour game there against Arsenal. And the Blackburn game, I got a program. The home leg was Henrik 1-0, I think. And then there was a couple of other ones. There was a Korean one with Key on the front. The player, not the car key.
Oh God!
Imagine that.
Thinking like that
there's
again.
A key sitting there,
You can't get that out of your mind. Alpha saying, "Did you see the?" Go ahead.
I had a box of programs when I moved from Scotland to Australia, and I just gave them away. I had some crackers as well, and I look back and I could kick myself. The only one I think I've kept now, I've got one from Seville. The Seville UEFA Cup final, and I've got one from a couple of testimonial matches, but I had a whole box of them, some going back to the 60s and 70s as well.
Well, Brian sent a bunch of them over. Brian has a house full of Celtic stuff, and he sent it all over to some of it over to Dano in Korea, who for him it's like having these things in his hand is amazing. Just shows you what things that might be sort of just taking up space in your own house. Funnily enough, we've just moved house and we've moved to a smaller place, so we've got tons of stuff that we don't need basically in our old house. And this woman who runs schools for stateless children here in Malaysia, we got in touch with her, and she was basically coming and taking everything away. And like, she's saying this is going to be so valued. These kids' books that you've read once with your kid, and then you never looked at them again. And now dozens of wee kids are going to enjoy them. So just goes to show that, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Is that the expression?
Yeah.
It is now. Alpha says, did you see the Jers TV quiz yet? He sent me a link to this. You've probably seen it before on YouTube. That guy from Jers TV, the guy who holds a microphone standing outside the shop. That guy. He does a quiz on Rangers and just gets like all the answers wrong. Like 7 in a row, wrong. Another question, wrong. So it's fantastic. Yeah, hopefully our quiz is slightly better than that. All right, so I think that just about does it for today. We haven't previewed the Sevco game, entertaining Rangers. Let's just do that quickly. What are you expecting for this game to come? It's time we give them a good battering, but that just doesn't seem to happen, does it, Stephen? It's always a tight affair.
No,
they rise to the occasion.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll happen this time either. I think, Rangers' performances in Europe, while being genuinely amazing to me, I just can't quite put my finger on how they manage it, because they've gone there to Fenerbahce last week and beaten a very, very good team with a very, very good manager. So it kind of tells me two things. One is that they're not as bad as we maybe perhaps previously thought. And two, they're much better. They're a much better team when they're playing on the back foot. I think I've said this before on a few other occasions. When they're not asked to come out and dominate a game, then that's where they're at their best. So, and that sort of fits the profile of the game next weekend. We'll have the vast majority of the ball. we'll be taking the game to them and we'll be trying to put them under pressure. So I think they'll employ the sort of same game plan they did against Fenerbahce, and I think it'll be a really tough game for us. I still think we'll win. I think we'll have too much for them in the forward areas. I think we've got too many goals in our team, and I think their defence is not that great. So I still think we'll win the game, but I can't see us hammering them.
Does anyone get this joke? I don't get that. I see other people enjoying it. Who was Bugs Bunny's cousin? Pubic hair? Oh, hair. H-A-R-E.
Hair.
Pubic hair. Bugs Bunny's cousin. Jesus. Brian, are you expecting a tight one, or is this finally going to be the moment where we humble them and put them back in their box?
It was a couple of years ago. We were, was it 3-0 up at half time in one of the games, and it was like and then it was 5-0 with half an hour to go. I mean, I want 10. I want double figures if possible. Don't care if it's 10-9. Like, it's not going to be that. I agree with Stephen. I think it's going to be a tight enough game, and my worry just would be one of those clod hoppers flipping, what do you call them, proper, comes in and boots Maida. But I suppose you have to catch him first, you know. But they'll be staunch and they'll have their fans back at the park. No doubt there'll be coins thrown.
Microphone, Brian.
Sorry. No doubt there will be there'll be some sort of controversy with their fans. I think I'm going to go without headphones next week. Just go loose.
Well, if Barry gets the players rattled up in his style, you read about what he likes to do before big games, biting his lip and making it bleed, and headbutting the mirror or whatever the fuck else he was up to.
I'd headbutt the mirror out of face like that. You know, just Neanderthal. And they're talking the street is Benitez is linked with them, and Benitez, you know, he would love that.
Only on a street full of utter morons.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. This is, all that nonsense is just people making up names now because they think that they're going to have all this disposable wealth that they can throw around and tempt a good manager. But, Benitez hasn't come to Rangers.
But he's not even a good manager anymore.
I know.
He went to Everton and took them down, and just, there's like the guy wouldn't take Mourinho now. I think Mourinho's past it. Not what you call progressive. I'm hoping to God we can get Brendan tied down, get the treble, and then just please.
That's going to be all the news soon. There'll be a lot of, once the treble seems to be in the bag, or is in the bag. Well, I mean, even before then, I think that's going to crank up again, that whole thing. And I'm not certain he's going to sign another contract, but I mean, that's a conversation for another day. And that other day coming up is Thursday. So we will see you back here for that. Thank you very much, everyone in the chat. And as always, did very well, I thought, in that quiz. We've got some smart people watching us, Brian, don't we?
We do indeed.
And send in your pictures of yourself so you can appear on the Worldwide CSC thumbnail for the drink-alongs. We just want a picture of a whole bunch of people, all of whom kind of know each other through this very medium. We're all part of a Celtic world, wherever you're watching from, so get on with it. I've already been sent a few, so I know what a few people look like. It's great to put faces to names. You see these names in the chat, you think, I wonder who the hell that guy is. And then you see a picture, and you're like, oh, it's an actual person. So let us know what you look like. Send us your pictures in. That'll be great. All right. So cheers to everyone watching. No tune. People keep saying, give us a tune, give us a tune. I don't have a tune for you, Big Des. I'm sorry. Big Des is one of those who I know what he looks like now. No tune for you, Big Des, I'm afraid. All right. Thank you very much, one and all. And thanks to all of you who have said goodbye, but I can't really put them all up. Until we meet again, hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.